How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back after long last to episode number 10. We made it to double digits of our NHL 07 Dynasty Mode series with the Atlanta Thrashers. Now, if you haven't been following along, because episode 1 was over a year ago, here we are at episode 10. We are currently at the end of year number 3 of our 5-year mission to get Atlanta Thrasher ownership to keep the Thrashers in Atlanta. We don't necessarily have to win the cup, but we got to go on a deep run and convince them to get to year 6, year 7, and then even then we still got to keep convincing them. At the end of year 3, year number 1, we missed the postseason. Year number 2, we lost in round number 2. And in year number 3, we lost in round number 1 to the Boston Bruins. In year number 2, we beat the President's Trophy winning Senators, but lost in round number 2, unfortunately. Our team is very, very interesting. It's a top-heavy team. We have Ilya Kovalchuk at a 98. We have Marian Hossa at a 98. We have other good support in Pierre Turgeon, who we're trying to get into the Hall of Fame with the Stanley Cup, 91. Colby Armstrong, we brought him back from the Penguins at 92. Andrew Ladd, the real-life eventual captain of the Thrashers and Jets, we acquired him. Wes Walls, Stefan Yell, Alex Ponikarovsky, some great names here. On defense, Nick Haviland, Mike Van Ryn, John Michael Lyles, Braden Coburn, and between the pipes, we have Kari Lehtinen at a 91 overall. Now, at the end of the last episode, we were thinking about how we're going to be running into a little bit of contract issues because there's a lot of money. There's not a lot of money, actually. We have a lot of money that we'd like to spend but can't spend because it's a pretty tight situation when it comes to salary cap. We see it's at $44.3 million here headed into the 2009 offseason. But we have a lot of contracts of players who are in our top 9, middle 6, stuff like that, like Jean-Pierre Dumont. We have Wes Walls, guys like that who need extensions. Yell, Dempsey, Coburn, all these guys need money. Take all their contracts out, I think we have still maybe like $20 million to play with. That money gets used up very quickly. So it won't be insanely tight. We should be able to get our guys back, but I'm scared for the depth of the team. Now, aside from the depth of the team, we're also thinking about the performance of the team. Here in Dynasty Mode in NHL 07, we get to use upgrades. And when it comes to upgrades, we want to think about public relations, NHL pressure, blah, 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 which helps our team. On a staff, for example, each upgrade improves your goalie's attributes by +1 when you use a star here. Strategic coaches, abilities in passing, shooting, etc. And that's what Sean left in his comment. We were using our stars for things like the contract negotiations and the trades, but Sean says, no, I was successful during Dynasty Mode years, and take it from me, do not waste stars on rookie scouting or GM trades right now. I said to myself that you messed up right away in episode 1. We didn't upgrade the home travel games or on-ice staff. Those things are the main things you need to upgrade to at first. Upgrade the assistant coaches because that equals effectiveness. Upgrades to strategic coaches, and that will improve your passing and shooting. Those main 2 things right there will have your team scoring a ton. Then as you do that, upgrade NHL pressure for salary cap upgrades, and then upgrade the contract stuff. The salary cap upgrade doesn't come into effect until the next season, so make sure by the playoffs or offseason that you upgrade it. Long comment, but like I said, you gotta upgrade your home and road stuff and your on-ice staff. Remember, your team isn't the only team improving. Every team has upgrades during the season and off-season, so it's not you just competing in the playoffs either. So, great point there from Sean. Thank you very much. Heading into this off-season, we have 3 stars to use, and I'm very excited because I think this will make a huge impact for our team moving forward. So, right away, I want to use a star on our players' overall abilities in passing and shooting. I would almost use 2 right here. We also need to think about the rest of the stars. For the off-ice, so the front office, I don't think we're really going to use any of that right now. When it comes to the off-ice stuff, we see that there's injury things. Teamwork helps players to play better with intensity in key situations. Strength and endurance. +2 for road games is a huge one. All player attributes by +2 for road games. Yeah, we're going to put a star right there. And I would think about doubling up on one of those. Yeah, we have increase in morale and stuff like that, but I would think we ought to use it somewhere else. Whether it be for on-ice staff or the off-ice, it really comes down to, do we want to think on skating, more of the passing and shooting, goalie attributes by another +1 maybe. And honestly, I think I'm going to double up on the strategic coaches because I'm very happy to have the +2 for road games, but we also have to think about the home games as well, right? So I'm going to say 2 stars to the strategic coaches to increase our players' overall abilities in passing and shooting. 1 star to team travel so that our players' attributes are +2 for road games. And then as more stars come over time, we'll get those going. So we'll accept the upgrades, bang, lock it in right there. And that will hopefully really make an impact on our scoring moving forward. Another comment in the last one from 2 months ago came from Alfred, Journey of an Author. He comments, would it be completely crazy to go after Alex Tanguay on the Calgary Flames, a player who simulates very well? I believe he has back-to-back Art Ross trophies. Chronologically, we are not far removed from the wild trades of the 90s, thinking of the boatload that Mike Milbury unloaded for Alexei Yashin. I'm wondering if this would be the time with only 2 years before ownership has to make their decision on the move. With Kovalchuk's lackluster performance, I believe it was more in the postseason, that may make him the piece used to get him. Maybe an overreaction, but thought worth mentioning. And yes, it was. Thank you very much, Alfred. So yeah, we have 98 overall players. You'd think they're doing more, but they are at around a point-a-game pace. Marian Hossa last season, he had 82 points in 82 games. It was more the depth scoring that didn't come through, I don't think. Ilya Kovalchuk, he had 37 goals and 84 points in 82 games. So him as well, even though it was a bit of a lackluster postseason, like we said. In year number 5, if we need to make drastic changes, I'd be down for that. But I think at the moment, and it's crazy how overall's changed. Last time I came into edit lines, it said -1 with Armstrong at like a 90. Now it says that Armstrong's a 94, so that's very odd. But I like the top 6 very much, actually. It's more the bottom 6 and the goaltending and the defense. That stuff's been struggling more. Maybe we can bump all the centermen down. Kapanen walks, Yell walks, Wells goes to third line, Turgeon goes to second line. We got a new first line centerman. All things we have to think about headed into the offseason. We don't know just yet because first we have to take care of the draft. So headed into the draft is not quite like NHL 22. You'll notice for an off-season episode, this episode is much shorter than NHL 22 off-seasons that are over an hour. We want to get through the draft, the re-sign phase, and get ready for year number 4. I know that not a lot of episodes have been coming for this series. Unfortunately, it's because behind the scenes, this series takes a good 3 times as long to record and edit than the NHL 22 series. It's a big logistical thing from the PlayStation to the computer, etc., etc. But just to say, I love the series, just that it's been a big hassle to get it done. I've been focusing with NHL 23 around the corner. It's been a heavy emphasis on NHL 22 on the channel. Then, of course, in the real world, we have the draft, free agency, etc. But here we are trying to get as much of the series done while we can before NHL 23 drops, and that'll consume us once again. But before we go to the draft, I believe we'll want to take care of re-signing our players, because if I remember correctly, after the draft is where growth takes place. So if I have a player who, whatever, is asking for $3 million now, he might be asking for $4 million after the draft. So let's take care of all the players on the expiring deals that we really want to take care of first and foremost, like the guys who might grow. I'm thinking about Andrew Ladd, for example. Like Andrew Ladd, 88 overall, he could very well grow to a 90 very soon. So we want to get him signed ASAP, a future captain in our system, a great leader, 23 years of age. He's going to be having a huge role moving forward. His stats this past season, since we picked him up in a trade, he scored 48 points on the season. I forgot exactly when we picked him up. I think it was earlier in the season rather than later. He was a +16. He scored 58 points the year before that. I think as he continues to grow more and more, he was in the mid-80s. Now he's into the high 80s. We definitely want to have him locked up. So the max you can go with is 3 years, and that's what we'll do. He's asking for 3.5. I'm going to try going to 3.28. Looks good to me. Let's make a deal. All right, the legal staff helps us out a little bit there. So that's a very solid deal. Although it's tough to swallow that much money, it is a very good deal for us. Now, moving on to Wes Walz, who I'd like to probably have as our second line center, worst case, our third line center. He wants 2.68, which is a bit much. Can I get to a 2.23? No. 2.33, still no. Don't want to offend him. 2.43 signing on. All right, 1 year, 2.43. Wes Walz was a very good second line center for us. And although it's a bit costly, it's more than he was making. Last season, he scored 24 goals and 40 points. In a team that struggled with their offense, 24 goals, if he can do that again, it's worth the 2-some million, especially if he'll increase in overall, because he has the potential to do so, even though he's older. It fluctuates very differently than the current games. Now, here's a guy I do not want to re-sign. Jean-Pierre Dumont. He came over as a free agent. The year before this one, I think he scored like 54 points. This season, he scored, drumroll please, 24 points. We scored 56 last season. We signed him to a very juicy contract, middle six, power play minutes, all that, 11 goals, 24 points. And let me guess, he wants even more than $3 million. How much do you want, buddy? You want 3.18. No, cannot afford that. I will find a replacement elsewhere. Released to free agency, will not be returning here in Atlanta. Other players we can re-sign, we see some of our prospects like Jurgen here. He was our first round pick in year number 1. He's a 71. He has 98 potential, though. I remember that. If I can give him a 3-year deal, he wants 0.75. So let's say like 3 years at 0.68. Maybe he's not in the NHL next season. I'm kind of hoping he would be a fringe NHLer, but maybe he's not. At least in years 2 and 3 of the contract, though, we'd be getting a very good deal. I'm anticipating, though, that by the time the season rolls around, he might be an 80. Because he started in the 50s, and after a couple of years, he's in the 70s. So I'm really hoping by the start of next season, he's like a 78, 79 fringe NHLer. We can try putting him in there. 3 years, 0.68, no. At 0.73, nice. All right, so Jurgen, I'm really hoping for you to grow because you're my number 1 prospect. Other guys like Stanislav Sasoyev, our best defensive prospect, I'm okay going 1 year on him. Hopefully that's the bridge to get him to like 76, 77, and then we can give him that 3-year deal that we just gave to Jurgen, one of those deals. But I've noticed that with the lower potential and overall, he probably wouldn't crack the NHL this season, so that's why I'm a bit hesitant. Norbert Klemper, I don't know how to pronounce that last name. These are some of the F80 overall potential. Okay, I'll take care of the rookies actually off screen. I'll do that myself. Nathan Dempsey, he's asking 1.6. Well, he just came off of a $1.6 million contract. 82 overall, 82 potential. He's a 34-year-old player who scored 20 points last season, 37 the year before, even plus minus. I think we'll probably pass. Let me see the defense on this team. If we're sorting by overall, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then Coburn's going to get signed for sure. Dempsey, maybe, yeah. I can find someone really cheap if I have to. Unless he's asking for like 1 million. But Dempsey, 1.83. Nah, I can't do it, Dempsey. It's too tight. It's too tight. He's been a good trooper for us. But I'm going to release him to free agency. But I can't even because it says teams need at least 18 skaters. So hold on, let me sign a player first. Actually, I'll sign Coburn, and then I'll release Dempsey. Coburn, a former first-round pick from the Thrashers, one of the final surviving Thrashers, who were drafted in the first round. He has 83 potential at an 83 overall, so I'm happy to sign him on to play third pair or wherever he fits in. He was making $1 million last year, so I hope he doesn't want too much more. I could do 3 years on him at hopefully 1.18. No, 1.23. Nice. Thank you, Braden. And then I'll go ahead and release Dempsey. There we go. And that's another piece of... at least 18. I don't know why you're telling me this. But let me just sign somebody else again. Nico Kapanen, fourth-line centerman, was making $500K last season. How much? You want 1.3 million? Nah, I can't. 1.3 for this guy, I can't do it. Pierre Turgeon, hopefully, I believe he's coming back. I don't know if they're past the retirement screen yet or what, but hopefully he's coming back. Pierre Turgeon at 1.5 last year wants $2 million this season. 91 overall. He's absolutely worth it. Can I go 1.93? Nice. Pierre Turgeon will be back, hopefully, unless he pulls some sort of trick out. Now can I release Dempsey to free agency here? I don't know why I keep saying that. Okay. What's up in goaltending? Goalies, we see that Lettinen still has another year on his deal. Dunham and Garnett, we can probably get better goalies in free agency than these two guys, so I'll probably let both of them walk in the end. But let me take care of the rookies quickly here. They're all going to get cheap deals because none of them are really going to be cracking the NHL anytime soon. But I'll probably... Actually, it might just be Norbert here. Give me a second. But heading into the draft, obviously, we're looking at short-term rather than long-term. But we still want to think about, the future of the franchise, even though it may be in Winnipeg. We still got to set this team up for success. So GM Data finished as 13th in top GM voting after this 2008-2009 season. That's great. Out of, is it 30 teams in NHL at this time? Out of 30 teams, 30, of course. I will take 13th place. Not bad. The top 50%. Thank you very much to all who voted. Very much appreciated. Getting through, there's, I guess, all of the June administrata. And now here we are at the draft. First, we got to check out that mailbox. Oh, no, hold on. It's straight to the draft. Alrighty. So where do we select in this draft? We don't have a pick very high. I do believe we have our first round pick, though. I think we traded our second. So the first overall pick in the 2009 draft is a goalie going to the St. Louis Blues, Mark Morchienitz. Karel Somek, a 73 overall, goes as the first forward to the Panthers, but a 64 overall goalie going to St. Louis. We are going to be selecting, oh, I thought I saw an 80 overall. We are going to be selecting 22nd, Jurgen Gerstmeier, just went to the Avalanche, a goaltender. Actually, a good number of, I saw a couple goalies. Okay, just a couple goalies going so far. It's pretty tough to choose the proper player pretty much because it's just letters and colors, so it's hard to see much more beyond that. But basically it comes down to potential is king. If a player like this guy right here, here's our pick, Vladimir Kristek, 6'6" right winger, probably a power forward, a potential, there we go. Even if he's not good, right, the best player available right now overall wise, this looks like the best bet potential wise. Karel Jindrich also looks interesting, but I'm going to go for the forward. Vladimir Kristek, welcome to Atlanta with the 22nd or the 23rd overall pick in the 2009 draft. Very, very nice. I forget, I don't think we have a second round. There's some pick in this draft we had traded. Mathieu Darche goes at 7th to the Flyers, a reincarnation of Mathieu Darche, as the players get drafted here. Yeah, we don't have the second round pick. I think that was in the Andrew Ladd trade that we had made. A 78 overall goalie going to the Flyers. Wow. So now with our third round pick, let's say, at 20, was it 22 or 23 we made that first round pick? But here we are in round number 3 now. It comes down to these 3 players, Tuukka Korpikari, Mikko Yaminki, or Carl Retzer. All are big, between 6'3" and 6'6". Left wing, right wing. One of them is 19, one of them is 20, one of them is 18, which is most tempting. So I think I'm going to go for the 18-year-old. I know it's not their big power forward, but it looks like they all are. So I'll go for the youngest one. But maybe the oldest one would help us sooner rather than later. That's the tough part here, right? This guy does have D offense, which is fairly accurate versus unreliable. Athleticism, strength. I'm just going to go for the younger guy. Carl Retzer, 6'6", another big forward coming to Atlanta. Let's get big. Welcome to the team. Round number 4 now. We still have our own 4th. Yeah, I don't think we had any other teams' picks. So let's sort once again, just by potential, continuing. Yeah, Tuukka Korpikari will be our next pick. Guy we could have taken in the second round. 6'3", 19-year-old. Bienvenue à l'équipe here in the third round. Excuse me, the 4th round. Now we're moving into the 5th round. Who's up next? We have, it's between Lars Liv or Vaclav Fichenek. I'll go for the defenseman. Yeah, and he's 19 as well. Yeah, I'll go for the defenseman there. Was that Vaclav? Welcome. The entry draft is now complete. Was that Vaclav who we drew on? Yeah, Vaclav Fichenek. Welcome to Atlanta. Carl Obb, the last guy going to Ottawa. All right, so there is the draft. Thrashers have chosen Krstick as their top draft pick. Read all about it. Let's head over to the mailbox because we just got a letter. Oh, retirements. Did Pierre Turgeon retire? I don't think he did. Maybe we would have seen that. But does Pierre Turgeon call it a career? I wasn't expecting this. He's already played like 2 or 3 more years than he did in the real world. But fingers crossed. And okay, we would have seen it right at the top of Atlanta. He does not retire. We see Jocelyn Thibault, Hannu Toivonen, Adrian O'Coin, Bobby Holik, former Thrasher, Darius Kasparaitis, legend, Glenn Wesley. Who else we seeing in here? Dallas Drake, Vesa Toskala, Kalish Krashtins. Yes. There is the retiring class. And a report, end of year report from Jason Hewson. Dear Mr. GM Data, yearly financial statement. Please find enclosed a complete breakdown of the team's finances for the past season. In sum, this has not been a banner year for the team. The full details merit your careful scrutiny, absolutely. As per his request, I have forwarded a copy of this report to Mr. Hendrik Hughes, the team owner, who I am certain will be interested to hear of your plans for the coming season. Yes, you will. Thank you, Jason. Yours truly, there we go, the accountant. Team's interesting movie with Ben Affleck. The team's profit ranking 30th. No surprise there, but yeah, not much of a thing about here. It's gonna be a better year. I promise you, James and Mr. Hendrik Hughes. I promise you, it's gonna be a better season. But now let's simulate to the contracts. Let's see our rookie contracts and if we can release the last people that we don't want. There are players in your roster who do not have contracts. Yeah, where are they going to July? I didn't say sim to July 1st. I said sim to contracts. Cancel and go back. Okay. Sim to go to contracts. So let me see. Was I right about the growth? What I want to see first. Yeah, there he is. Andrew Ladd, 91 overall. I think he was 88, right? So there's some growth right there. Yeah. Did we see any other growth here? We see Steinruken's up to an 80, but it's not going to convince me to keep him. Stefan Yell's at an 84. Whoa, Dempsey's at an 88? What? That's fraudulent. I don't believe that. 88 overall. Now he wants 3.58 million with 82 potential. He's at an 88 overall. Yeah, I don't know what he did. He went to some like bodybuilding competition and he looks jacked up for like half a day. No, I do not believe that. But what we can do is look at our drafted players. What is their potential? So our first drafted player was Vladimir Kristik, who we took with our first round pick at 22 or 23. He has 91 potential. Very good. So that's all you can really ask of a first round pick. A late first at that. 91 potential. I will take it. Our second pick was Carl Retzer, I believe, in the third round. He is 79 potential. Okay, so bottom six fringe guy. Next was Korpikari, yes, Tuukka. Tuukka has also 79 potential, 60 overall, okay. And our last pick was Vaclav. So Vaclav, the defenseman, his potential is 58. He's a 57 and 58 potential. So basically, our first round pick hit 91, top six potential for a first round pick. I will love that every day. But our third, fourth, and fifth round picks looks like fringe players, if at that. So no harm, no foul. Not a big deal. We'll sign them all to whatever. I believe you have to sign them or else you lose them. So maybe Vaclav, I'll let him walk. Sorry, Vaclav. But I'll sign the other three to entry-level deals, whatever you want to call it. I'll give them... the thing is, because if you go 3 years, brings them to 21, maybe they're close to... I don't know. I'm going to go 2 years and hope that within 2 years, he's like a 73 overall or something. Then I can go 3 years cheap again. So I'm going to go 2 years on these guys at 0.53. Okay, that's a good deal. Thank you very much. And the same thing for Carl and Tuukka. So give me a moment for that. And I guess that's just about it. So, Dempsey, Yell, they'll walk in free agency, which will free up salary cap space. And then we'll see how much we're really playing with. Some guys on great deals like John Michael Lyles at 0.5. And who else do we see here? A lot of 60 overalls. Yeah, Steinruken's going to walk. Havlet at 92 overall, 1.2 million. That's going to be great for us. Coburn up to an 85. Very nice. Everybody else, yeah, I'm ready to just pretty much let them walk. Yep, there we go. And for goaltenders, any upgrade here? Rookie, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Dunham at an 82, but he's still 36 with 83 potential. I don't know. Dunham was okay, but at 36, I don't know. And Letton's up to a 92. I'll probably let both these guys walk anyways and just find a second and third goalie in free agency. You know what? Honestly, the third goalie can stay. Michael Garnett, if he's asking for 0.6 to be third goalie or whatever, it's not a bad thing. I'll give him 1 year at 0.68. Yeah, there you go. There's third goalie, but we'll have to let Dunham walk and sign probably a better caliber backup goaltender. So I suppose now we can sim to contracts or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to auto-sign players. There are players on your roster that do not have contracts. If you don't sign these players before July 1st, they will not be on your team for next season. Okay, I don't want them. Your coaches can auto-sign them for you. However, they will not sign the newly drafted players. I don't want them either. You can sign them in the contract screen. I don't care. I would like to go to the free agency, please. Can I sim to June 3rd? That's your team's not cap compliant? That's why? But it's the off-season. But my team's not cap compliant, but it won't let me release players to make my team cap compliant. Like, I don't know what to tell you here, unless now it will. So, Dempsey costs the most. Can I please release him to free agency? Okay, thank goodness. Now I'm under the salary cap. That's good. Can I also release the other guys? Can I release Yell? Stefan Yell, yes. Okay, there we go. My apologies. Steinruken, goodbye. And we can also let go of Kapanen. So headed into free agency. Okay, he'll be another 500K. We have about, 40.6 million or whatever. And we can now sim to contracts. Okay, but I don't want to sign them. Releasing, okay, autofill, yes. What is going on here? Let me advance, please. I don't care that they're not signed. It's because I do not want them. Can I advance to a day? You can't sim the playoff rounds from the calendar when you're not part of them. Please go back to the playoff central screen and use sim next round or sim entire. It's not the playoffs. What is going on? Okay, you know what? Just auto-sign players and continue then. If it's just 2 players left, if it's Kapanen and that other unsigned prospect, fine. At least I released Yell and Dempsey, and I wasn't going to sign them for $3 million each. Now it's June 30th, before free agency. Recent signings around the league. Okay, don't need to be too concerned with that. We'll see it when the season rolls around. What contract did they offer here to these players that I didn't want to sign? So now it updated that. So now guys like, for example, Havilid, Walls, who was on a 1-year deal, Armstrong, these guys are all now on expiring deals technically. So Colby Armstrong, if I want to give him a new deal, yeah, it's going to be tough headed into not this next season, but year number 5. It's going to be tough. So did they give contracts to the guys I didn't want to give contracts to? Vladimir, no. I cared about Kaplan. Yeah, they signed him for 0.8. I'm just going to trade him for a draft pick if I have to. But let us finally sim to free agency now. July 1st, 2009. Why is it July 3rd? But whatever. Start of transfer season. Is it FIFA? Your fellow GMs around the league are starting to aggressively scout talent that might become available. Transfer season. Yep, just a heads up. Okay, thank you so much. And now we can take a look at free agency, but we'll have to know what kind of players are we looking at. If we have our first line as Kovalchuk, Turgeon, and Hossa, can our second line be Ladd, Walls, and Armstrong? I think so. It's our third line we want to look at. Guys like the JP Dumonts who we had to look past. So, you know, the 84 to 86 range. Different overall scale back in the day, especially our fourth line. So we're looking at bottom 6 because our defense and then 1 third pair D-man probably. Bottom 6, third pair D, and backup goalie. It's the depth because our stars are there. Free agency, let's dive in. Who's here sorting by overall? Woo! Matt Sundin, Chris Pronger, Thomas Cabriolet, Tim Connolly. There's JP Dumont, Marc-André Bergeron, Philippe Boucher, Martin Straka, Jeff Carter, Fernando Pisani, Jan Bulis, Ty Domi, Steven Reinprecht, Christoph Schubert. Yeah, we had him. I just love reading all these names. Chris Clark. And goalies here. We see, sorting by overall, we see Thomas Vokoun is here. Eesh, not a lot of good options for backups. You know what? It probably automatically signed Dunham. So you know what? We'll keep Dunham then. I expected there to be better goalies out here, but there aren't. So, but Jason LaBarbera has 95 potential? What? Is that true? Let me see this. 95 potential, 75 overall from Jason LaBarbera. Has he not played like at all in the simulation? He hasn't. He has the potential. Maybe I'll sign him as third goalie, and I'll trade Michael Garnett. Can I sign you 1 year at 0.73? Yeah. Okay, so Jason LaBarbera, welcome with your crazy potential. Let me trade Michael Garnett and other players we don't want. Nico Kapanen. If Nico Kapanen becomes fourth line there, I need a third line centerman. Vigier comes out, Ponikarovsky goes in, and then Vigier can come down here. So I need a fourth line forward. So yeah, so Chris Stewart, it would also be ideal if Stewart's down here on the fourth line. Stewart there with Kapanen. So this is not a bad fourth line. Vigier, Kapanen, Stewart. Ponikarovsky goes left. Is that right? Yeah. So I need a third line, center, and right winger. Center, right wing, third pair D. Center, right wing, third pair D. Okay, center. First we look at the center. Nick Antropov, legend. Center. Third line center. I'm thinking about a guy like a Jeff Carter. We had Jeff Carter last season, 1 year deal. We ended up trading him because the things didn't work out, but maybe he comes back. Jan Bulis. What did he end up, or even Tim Connolly, because the overalls are very different. 87 could be third line. Tim Connolly wants $3.5 million basically. That would be tough. Jeff Carter, what kind of money does he want? He wants, even more, 5.5 million, so that's not going to happen. And then Jan Bulis at an 83 would be wanting 1.8 with 86 potential. So Jan Bulis is probably my number one candidate. Remind me now, how much money are we playing with? Ish. We're at 42. Yeah, we probably have like 2 million-ish. This is tight. Trades will likely have to happen. But Jan Bulis with 86, it said 85, 86 potential. Tim Connolly is extremely tempting. But hopefully, maybe Jan Bulis can get it done. Worst case, we can think about making a trade. But Jan Bulis, can I get you 1 year, 1.68? Sounds good. Let's sign. Thank you very much. Jan Bulis, I loved him on the Montreal Canadiens. There's our third line centerman. Now let's look at third line right wing. Third line, I'm thinking about a guy like a Pisani or a Domi, especially with his 91 potential. But he probably is asking for a lot of money. Yeah, we can't afford 2 guys wanting $3 million, but maybe we can get 1. If not Connolly, then maybe Pisani. But Dumont let us down big last season. I don't want Pisani to be a repeat of that. What kind of numbers did he have last year? Fernando Pisani, 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points. That's not $3 million. Chris Clark, 33. Ty Domi. Tom Kostopoulos, Mark Parrish. I wouldn't say no to a Chris Clark here. 1.8 again, similar to Jan Bulis. So hopefully the depth won't fall away. 1.63, he'll do it. 1 year, 1.63. There's a couple of third-line wingers. Now I need a third pair defenseman. Sorting again, it'll probably be one of these guys we've already had before, kind of like a Schubert. But this guy's 87 potential, Yuri Slegger. So it'd probably be him. Yeah, because these other guys, like a guy like Cabriolet or Boucher would be great. Even Philip Boucher at the age of 36 doesn't want a ton probably. 2.28, that's not horrible. 91 potential even. He's playing below his overall. Can I get you for 1.93? He signs on! Oh, wow, that was a huge free agency surprise. 1.93, thank you very much. That may put us in a tough spot, but that's too good of a deal to pass up. Do we see them in the lines right away? If I go best lines, will it put them in there? Yes, it will. Oh, boy. Interesting. Let me get Jan Bulis here. And then we put Kapanen here. Yeah, okay. This lineup's not bad. Ponikarovsky's a bit weak on that third line. But again, this is before we check how much money we're dealing with here. Boucher's going to go. I'm not sure where he's going to go. He'll fit in somewhere. We're likely over the salary cap at the moment, but it's supposed to be going up. 47.68. Yeah, that's a yikes. We could move out some money. We could move out like a Janssen maybe if we had to. Kapanen could always go, but who's going to replace him, right? That's the issue. We don't really have these depth guys. It's pretty tight. I would need a really depth forward for like 500k as well if that would work. If you want to give me one of those. Someone like an Alexander Svitov here, 79 overall with 89 potential. Would he want a 500k? No, I need someone who's really on a league minimum type of deal. So I have to find someone closer to the 77s probably. John Sim, 77 with 84 potential is not a bad idea. Still, they want too much. Maybe I'll just come back closer to the start of the season. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. So at the very least, just to free up a little bit of money, let's go to that trade I was thinking about for the goalies here, because we have Lettinen as our starter, LaBarbera's third goalie, Garnett at a 73. Ooh, Dunham's at a 76. Yikes. Can I trade Dunham and Garnett to a team that will give me like a 79 overall goalie? Like a Jonas Hiller? But he's making 1.2. I need to find a cheap backup goalie. Let me do some research here. Gosselin, actually, the first guy I see. Gosselin, 79 overall, expiring contract, but what? Now it says 88 overall, but 98 potential? Laurent Gosselin. But it said he was a 79. Would you do this trade, Boston? Now you go over this. Of course I'll be over the salary cap. Because I can't make any trades anyways. This is a frustrating situation. Like, even if I tried to trade Garnett for a draft pick, it would probably put me over the salary cap, right? And no draft picks available. Why are there no draft picks available? Alright, so I can't make any trades right now. I'm learning a lot of things here. Let's start simming to next season, and we'll figure it out. And here we now are at the beginning of year number 4. First thing, did the salary cap go up anymore? Okay, very good. It's up to 46.95 now. Thank goodness. So that'll give us a little bit more breathing room. We don't need to shed as much. Mail, what's up here? 8 new. My goodness, we got a trade offer as well. Very first, good NHL profits. The NHL is proud to announce good profits. The yearly increase will be higher at 2.5%. All right, Atlanta, 27 million. Bang. Okay. Success from Hendrik Hughes. GM data, great work. My vision for this year has been achieved, and we're getting closer on creating that dynasty. We were ranked 10th or above in the conference. Yeah, we were 5th in the conference? And second in the division. The Thrashers Hockey Club is turning heads around the league, but don't ease up. We need to continue to focus and push this team to the next level. Cheers. Thanks, Hendrik. See you at the Yacht Club. Yeah, GM data, task update from Hendrik again. Let's see if you have what it takes to complete my next goal and get ever closer to my vision of the team. I need you to make the playoffs. If you are as good as you think you are, you should have no problem completing the challenge. Yep. Let me down and there will be consequences. Okay, Hendrik. All right. Recent signings around the NHL. Yep. Pisani ended up signing for 1.9. Monthly financials. We're 29th. Hey, not 30th. Morale is up. Marian Hossa is loving it in the dressing room. Farm team player Brad Larson wants to get called up. Okay. And finally, a trade offer from Tai Yu. A trade offer from Tai Yu. Hello there, Mr. GM Data. Hello. I think we can help each other. Competitive business. I think we'd both agree that our teams could use a little tweaking. Blah, 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 blah. And he is willing to offer us, let's see, he wants to give us Vincent Lamana in exchange for Jurgen, our top prospect? Well, let me see, this better be a very good prospect, because I'm not trading Jurgen for just anybody. They're both 76 overall. Let me see more about, actually, could I just, hey, I don't want to, yeah, there we go, Lamana. Let me see what we got. We can't see his draft history, but we can see that he is 84 with 98 potential. I don't believe this is a real player. I think this is someone that EA had created for whatever reason, whether it be Make-A-Wish or whatever else, or just a competition win of some sort. But that being said, Jurgen, just a reminder out there, he's now a 76 overall, and at the age of, is it 20? Yes, he's an 80 overall, or is it 76? We don't know, with 98 potential. Yeah, I don't think I can do that trade, although it is a fair offer. This just that Lamana is 5 years older and already a higher overall, but the same potential. So it'll be help now versus help later, I suppose. But we believe in Jurgen. I don't think we're going to make that trade. But that's a fair offer. I appreciate the fair offers coming here in NHL 07. Thank you to Ty Yu over in Ottawa. So now we still need to make some tweaks to the team headed into the season to be salary cap compliant. Looking at our lineup, Kovalchuk 98, Turgeon 94, Hossa 98. Second line, Ladd, Walls, and Armstrong 91, 90, 93. We could mix them around. I don't know why they're all snipers. They weren't when we got them. Third line, Panakorovsky, Bulis at an 86, and Clark at an 86. Yes. And fourth line, Stewart, Kapanen, and Vigier. Kapanen's at an 84. Havilid, Boucher, 92, 87. Janssen, Lyles, 87, 91. Plus 3 chemistry, by the way, on the first pair. Coburn, Van Ryn, both 85s. And over on the goaltending, which I still have to figure out, it's Lettinen. Now Dunham's back to an 82. And LaBarbera's an 81. Yeah, because LaBarbera's making what? Was it 0.8, 0.9? Dunham is signed at 0. That's not bad. This is tough. These are a lot of tough decisions. Then in minor league management, like who are our healthy scratches and all that. If we're sorting by, like, these guys are all in the minors. Like, do we call Jurgen? Nazarov's an 81, but remember, it's not NHL 22 here. 80 and 81 is very fringe. That's probably like 76, 77 in NHL 22 language. Do we think about calling up Nazarov and Jurgen and shedding some salary cap from, whatever, Mike Van Ryn or one of those fourth-line forwards? The rest of these guys are all going to stay in the minors. Larson, could we trade Larson for some money maybe? But very least we'll swap out some of the scratched players. Some of these guys with higher potential, we'll send them down, let them, quote, play in the minors. We could also shed a guy like Stewart and maybe get a replacement in free agency. If we look at the current free agents who made it to still be out here. Still, oh my goodness. Marleau, Sundin, Gagne, Heatley, Nash, Correa, Zetterberg, Elliott. Oh my goodness, look at all these players in free agency. I'm wondering if their demand changes at all. Like, it should be extremely high still for a guy like Patrick Marleau. He is asking for $9.3 million. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily go down just because the season's about to start. So if I'm looking for a cheap replacement for Stewart, if I were to move him out, another 79 overall, let's say Chouinard or Marc Chouinard, he would be asking for we could probably get him for like 0.73. So that would shed, there's 100,000 here, 100,000 there. But I'll need to hear your thoughts headed into year number 4. We have one more upgrade star. What should we use it on? We can have things like the legal department where trades are accepted, contracts are cheaper. We have more player morale, rookie scouting. Or we can have more on-ice performance. And it also comes through the off-ice stuff, like less injuries and more intensity in key situations. I like this one. The teamwork might be a good star, but I'm tempted to give one to team travel as well, +2 for road games. So let me know your thoughts on the last upgrade star. Let me know your thoughts on what to do with the contract situation. Basically, we need to shed $700,000. So looking at the salaries that we have on the team right now, here's how, as I just scroll down, here's what we're looking at. It could be as straightforward as just getting rid of Nico Kapanen and signing someone cheaper, or even just promoting someone. That would even also work if Jurgen were to crack the NHL roster. Maybe you just totally remove like a guy like Stewart. There's a few different options for us. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that, as well as the goaltending, where we have 94 overall Lettinen, 82 overall Dunham, 81 overall LaBarbera. So Garnett can definitely be moved there. That could be the $700,000 right there. But will the system let me do that? Oh, I can just release to free agency? Is it that simple? Michael Garnett, free agency. Okay, goodbye. But it didn't. I don't think it affected the salary because he was in the quote minors. So I guess we still have to figure out some. Yeah, so we're still faced with the same Stewart or Kapanen type of problem there. Lettman's our first goalie, and Dunham and LaBarbera are both going back and forth with second or third goalie duties. And that just about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2009 offseason here with the Atlanta Thrashers. It's going to be an exciting season moving forward into the 2009-10 season, our 4th year out of 5 to convince Thrasher management to stay in Atlanta. Pierre Turgeon is still out here. He retired long ago in the real world, but now at the age of 40, he's still out here with 1,568 career points. Still no Stanley Cup, but he's been point a game plus the last couple of years. He has been great for us. Hopefully we can keep the trend going. Do you like the lineup? What changes will you make, if any? And I'm looking forward to reading those thoughts down in the YouTube comments or over on the Discord server, link in the description. I'm excited to be back. I know it's not the series that happens the most often, but I am invested here in Atlanta, and I hope that we can try and get seasons 4 and 5 done within the next couple months, as opposed to just one episode every couple months. So if you are enjoying this series, be sure to let me know, because the more people I see engaging and enjoying, the more I say, okay, well, I'll do this instead of whatever else. So thank you for all the continued support in the comments and for the channel itself, and I'll leave you off there. Year number 4 is going to be a big one for the Thrashers. Expiring expensive deals. What kind of trades might we make into the season as well? You can think about future suggestions. What did you think about these free agent signings? And that is it. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to watch. Hope that you all enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the next one.